Hello, my ignorant millennials. I'm sure you can tell. I'm sure you can tell with the smile that I may or may not be at a dentist's office right now. May or may not be. We'll find out later in the show. But thank you so much for joining us, for watching. It's the end of the year. I'm excited. My pearly whites are open, mouth to mouth. Ear to ear. But yes, remember to like and subscribe if it's the first time you're watching. Welcome to the show. I am Lisady and I'm joined by a gorgeous lady.
Thank you.
Who is almost as stunning as I was going to say my lips. My teeth. How are you, Nikita?
Good, and you, Lisady?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. How long have we had to try get you on the show? You are a difficult woman to find, but we're glad.
Generally busy.
And so, who is Nikita? Where are you from? What do you do?
All right, so as you already told the viewers, my name is Nikita. Yeah. I'm a dentist. I am from Johannesburg. I was born and brought up in Johannesburg.
Really?
Yes, and I qualified at University of Wits. So,
really?
Yes.
Okay.
And now I'm practicing at Discovery.
Can we say that? Well, we just did. No, man, thank you so much again for joining us, Nikita. I wanted to ask you, like, how did this dentist journey start for you? Did you always want to become a dentist, or did it, I don't know, occur in a dream?
So this is a funny story. Growing up, I actually had trauma to my front tooth, and I lost my tooth at an early age.
Oh
I don't think I've ever said this live on any social media
exclusive
platform. But yes, there's method behind the madness, as I call it. So as a teenager, you don't really realize the implications of not having a front tooth. Going to high school, there's bullying.
Wait, Nikita. You went to high school without a front tooth?
Exactly. I did for like 3 years. And
what?
Yes, it was traumatic. It's not an easy thing as a teenager to go through. You know, there's speech and drama, there's plays, there's, you know, it's just, you're teenagers, you're interacting on a regular, there's lunchtime, there's playground duties, there's sports, there's everything. Those are like your prime times of growing and getting some sort of self-esteem or gaining self-esteem as an individual.
And also just that adolescent stage.
Exactly. Yeah. And I literally lost my front tooth. Unfortunately, it was a permanent front tooth. And I don't know who in their right mind decided to just keep me like that for 3 years until I got to my full growth spurt of 18. And then they decided to do something permanent like implants or whatever to get my front tooth back. But for like 3.5 years, I was just in high school without a front tooth, almost like a Capetonian.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to endure a lot of bullying, and it really took a knock at my self-esteem. And growing up, I thought, you know what, if there's one thing I would want to do is change the mindset of the dentist and the specialist who treated me at that stage in my life, because things could have been better. I know that now because I'm in the profession, but if something had to happen to a patient of mine, they would never walk out of my room without a front tooth. It's a very sensitive thing. So eventually I took a liking to the field. I was in and out of dental rooms, specialist rooms. I had orthodontics as well. So I kind of got, you know, to see a whole genre, if I can call it that, of dentistry.
Yes.
So
that's how you sort of got into it.
That's how I sort of got into the field. So, no regrets. I love what I do.
I mean, I can tell. I can tell. And then just like when you were in high school and then you decided that, okay, this is the field that I want to get into, what subjects then did you sort of take to help you, or were you lucky enough to already have taken those subjects? And if so, which ones were they?
So basically what happens is the S7 course, well, I don't know what it's called now, but when I qualified 10 years ago, graduated
10 years ago.
The S7 course was the basic course that anyone would take if they wanted to become a healthcare profession. Okay,
what's the S7 course?
So the S7 course is everything that includes your science, your biology, your math, accounting, your normal English, Afrikaans, those languages, or Zulu if there is in the school, or other languages. So that's the S7 course.
So that sort of then helped you when you started applying into university.
Yes.
Then you get to Wits. What is that journey like in dentistry? Did you go straight into dentistry?
So it's tough. I mean, it's not an easy process. So I think at that time when I applied, out of 6,000 applicants, they would only choose 32.
What?
So the pool size is very small. So everyone is fighting for 32 seats in a dental school, and there's 6,000 applicants. So what are the odds that you may get a seat?
Yeah.
So initially I applied, I didn't get accepted to do dentistry.
Oh my word.
Okay.
This is right off the bat in high school.
Exactly.
Like, what?
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
Took my matric marks, and granted they were not bad. I mean, I
Yeah.
graduated with 5 distinctions in matric.
And then
It's not
you
a full
didn't
house,
make it in.
something's better than nothing.
Oh my
but I
gosh.
didn't make it in.
Oh
Okay,
my
of course I was
gosh.
disappointed. And
Yeah.
then I later had to be pushed into doing the BSc. And then with those marks, I've applied again for dentistry the following year.
Okay.
And I got accepted.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's been a great journey.
And do you know what the logic is behind only selecting 32? Is it
So
because it's
basically,
expensive, or what is it?
so I don't think it's really got to do with the fee structure of dental school as much as it's about the accommodation. They only have that much of space to accommodate for that much of students. So if you ever go and see the facility,
Yeah.
sure, at some universities the acceptance pool might be higher.
Okay,
But
okay.
at Wits there is only a certain amount of chairs
Yeah.
that they can accommodate for
Yeah.
one-on-one practical and clinical
Oh,
knowledge.
okay, got
so
you,
dentistry
got
is
you.
not just learning theory.
Yeah.
You get thrown into clinics from, third year, and you have to start treating
Really?
patients from as early as third year. So if they don't have seats
Yeah.
for every student,
Yeah.
you're not getting supervised accordingly as
Okay.
well. So you can't just have an intake of 100 students,
Yeah.
but there's no supervision for 100 students. So it's very, yeah.
So it was just like a space kind of thing.
Exactly.
So what other universities did you consider, or were you just set on Wits?
So ideally I was like very much set on Wits because I am from Joburg and I resided in Joburg. So for me to kind of travel out
Would have
wasn't
not been
really
ideal.
something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But if it was an option, I would have done
Yeah.
it. So I
Yeah.
did look into universities like Pretoria also offers dentistry.
Okay.
Cape Town University as well has
Yeah.
dentistry. But yeah, I got accepted, so I didn't
Yeah.
bother
Apply
venturing
anywhere
off
else.
to yeah,
Okay.
to
You
other
don't regret your
universities.
decision with
None,
Wits?
none.
I know every Witsy, we have a lot of Witsies that watch this, and they were just like, oh, Witsy. Yeah. Would you say the University of Witwatersrand
Yes.
was one of the best to study dentistry, or which school would you say is the best?
I'd definitely say it's the best because I mean I've graduated
there.
from there, and to be
Okay.
honest, I don't know any better. So if
Yeah.
you only been to one university, for
Then,
you that's all you know.
yeah,
You know, I've not had the luxury of having to do a postgrad or anything else yet at another university for me to compare. So for me,
Okay.
what did they say? Wits of nooks.
No, that's Sticks of Nicks. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Nikita, you're not a good representation. Thank you. I'm from Tits, so Sticks of Nicks. Okay. Now you spoke a lot about just your journey into it and how you went into BSc.
Yes.
So, how long does it take to become a dentist? Fully fledged.
So you're going to be quite surprised. So
Okay.
it's a full 5-year course, all right, and
Okay.
then you still have to do a 1-year community service.
So just
think
like
about it
doctors.
as 6 years, yeah.
Oh,
and then the next
okay.
question is going to be, so why don't you just become a real doctor?
Yeah, why don't you just become a real doctor? I'm very glad you said that. Like, why don't you just become a general practitioner or whatever?
Honestly, with like everything in life, if you don't have a passion for it, don't do it.
Yeah,
So
true.
this is my passion. I wanted to do
Yeah.
it. Whether it
Yeah.
took me 6 years or 8 years,
yeah.
my choice would have been the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, just on that topic, how easy is it to switch from? Is it possible to switch from being a dentist to a GP?
Of course.
Really?
So that's, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the best part. If tomorrow I wake up and I'm like, I want to become a real doctor,
Yeah.
I would just go back and apply, and they
Yeah.
will take me on from third year onwards. So I won't have to repeat
okay.
the full 6 years of
Okay,
having to become a
okay.
normal GP
Okay.
doctor. I would just have to take credit on my first 3 years, because what happens is your first 3 years of dentistry and your first 3 years of becoming a GP is exactly the same at the University of Wits. I can't
Okay.
speak for the other universities,
Yes,
but
yes.
I know the subjects and everything is exactly the same.
Okay.
So you can apply
Yeah.
for either a GAM program or the normal program that they have for medical
A
students.
what program?
GAMP.
GAMP.
They call it GAMP.
Okay, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then from there, then you can just sort of come back
Exactly.
into.
So from third year onwards, and then you'll have another 3
Yeah.
years to finish. But the only, like, I wouldn't say it's a problem. The only thing that they wouldn't recognize is your community service year. So you will have to serve
Okay,
again
but it makes
another
sense.
2 years in ComServe.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
for doctors, they do 2 years
Yeah.
or 3 years, as opposed to dentists, we do 1 year.
And during your come year, do you get paid?
Of course you do.
Okay, nice. And then how do you select which community you're going to, or do they select you? How does it work?
there's a little bit of a rotational thing that goes on with selecting com service posts. They call it posts.
Okay.
So what happens is, if you're residing in Joburg South, for example, they'll give you a whole list of clinics in different provinces and in different areas. So if there is a clinic around you in that space that you are residing in, and you apply for that clinic and that post is open, they will gladly give you the post. If not, you get second rounded, and they will either push you to another clinic that's available outside of your province or within your province. And it's like a lucky draw.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Like, they will just be like, this is available, Dr. Morar, you are going to this clinic.
Oh, no, if you go. And then who pays you? Is it the university or is it the hospital?
So once you're qualified, like, the university is out of it. It's the government that pays you, because you are now working for the state. You're working for the government.
Okay. And it's just a Can you fail or come?
No, I don't think you can. Like,
okay, you had 5 distinctions, so you can't even like.
No, it's not even about that. The com service is obviously just to give back to the community. You've obviously been in university for 5 years. You've learned everything. There's a certain amount of practical knowledge that you've acquired over those years, and they trust that you are able to practice this for 1 year to the community and give back your service to the community before you decide to venture off into private practice or work for someone else as a locum.
And then just before we touch on your private practice or joining a hospital, in that com year, do you have a supervisor?
Yes. So
I mean, the way you looked at me, I'm like,
very nice question to have. I mean, I don't think they would just let you out and just practice without supervision for the first year. You know,
this is enfant.
So you do have a senior dentist or supervisor that supervises you throughout the entire year at the clinic or the hospital.
And then what sort of things do you do there? Do you like extract teeth, clean them, like everything?
So mostly, and I think because we are at a disadvantage with resources in South Africa, we mostly get to do the very basic work. So it's just the cleaning and mostly extractions. So the people who line up, it's very unfortunate because our primary healthcare service is not at an optimum right now, I think. Personally, that's my opinion. So what happens is we are struggling for resources to do anything but basic dentistry in government care. So all we get to do is just cleanings and mostly extractions, because it's unfortunate that we don't have, some of the clinics are well equipped for root canals or crowns or dentures, which is great, but there are really some local dentists, local clinics that don't have the resources for dentists to perform those procedures. So we kind of stuck with just doing the basics, like cleanings and just, extractions.
Oh my gosh, okay. And then you touched on either private practice or going
locuming for someone.
Which is better?
Honestly, I can't say, because I think both has its advantages and disadvantages. So, I mean, obviously with private practice, like if you've, out of grad school, you've done your ComServe and you just want to start up something on your own, you don't really have, how can I say, the capital at that stage in your life to start up something like a business. And as you know, with dentistry, things are expensive. Your equipment's expensive. Your materials are expensive.
How much
you then have to pay staff members.
Do they range? Like basic equipment, that thing that like lights your face up.
So it honestly depends on what brand you want to, invest in for your practice. There is thousands of different chairs you can get from different companies. It all depends on your budget and affordability. So if you want to go into private and open up your own, best be sure you have the capital to do that. The other thing is location. Where would you open up the practice? Are there other practices around there? There's a lot of things to consider. So I see what most people are doing now, instead of going into private practice and opening up their own, because it is unfortunate. As a young dentist, you really don't have that kind of startup capital to push into a business and start up your own thing. So what you do is you go and locum for another well-established practice who has been around for maybe 10, 15 years or 20 years or even longer, and you kind of slowly build up your reputation in the field and your patient base, and you also learn and experience different things that were not taught in campus, because the reality is in dentistry things evolve all the time. So what you may have learned theoretically will always be a base, but what you can improve on practically and clinically was something that you may learn under supervision of a senior dentist or locuming for another practice.
And what was your journey like then into the professional dentistry? Did you also locum, or?
I actually am still locuming.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'm thinking.
No,
Okay.
it's been lovely. I mean,
Yeah.
I run my own practice here, and it's been, it's a lovely journey. It's been very rewarding in the sense that you learn what you're capable of doing.
Yes.
As a young dentist, it is very difficult to just start off and say, okay, where do I find my feet now? It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So I obviously did start off locuming. Everyone does. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's been great because, like I said, I have been blessed to have a senior mentor that's able to teach you, and guide you through procedures. So what mistakes they have corrected over the years, they would say, rather do it this way because this is what happens when you do it this way.
Okay.
So it's nice to have that. It really is nice to
It
have
sounds
that.
like it, but I'm just like thinking, how do you deal with like these patients that come in and like are super afraid of dentists, and like what do you do in that sort of particular
So
situation?
as you know, I think with any medical profession, it's bedside manner. If you are comfortable in helping the patient relax and get calm before they get to the chair, that's all that it takes. Even if it's just a few words that you exchange before the patient comes in, like, hey, how are you feeling today?
Okay, that's true,
I hope you're having a great day so far, but let's see what we can do to make it even a better day.
I mean, I talk from my own experience. I hate dentists. Like, I go there once.
Thanks, Cecilia.
Once a decade. Once a decade I go, but no, I'm
Are you
joking,
sure you
I'm
want to be
joking.
telling me this?
No, like, what you gonna do? Are you gonna examine me? I'll run away. Like, I have a fear. I really do. But that aside, with like all the, I don't want to say trauma, but with all the drama that's happening now with COVID, how has your profession been impacted? And like, because I mean, how are you going to social distance in between? Like, how does that look like?
I'll be very honest. It's been a hard year. So it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to facilitate. It's not an easy thing to process mentally as a dentist, because we are constantly in touch with patients. We are constantly communicating with patients. We're seeing patients on a daily, and when that stops and you have nothing to do, it's difficult, because that means it's no work, no income. Everything is just at a standstill. People were still afraid, and still are today, to get into any medical facility or any dentist rooms for treatment, even if it's just as simple as a clean. So I think physically and mentally it's been challenging. It's not been an easy thing. I really don't think so. In terms of procedure and protocol, sanitization and sterilization of rooms, masks, gloves, all of those things have not been new to dentists. We've been doing it for years. Forever. So when COVID was introduced,
For lack of better words,
it was not something new to us. Glove up, mask, sanitize your rooms before every patient, after every patient. We do that anyway. So in terms of procedure and protocol, there hasn't really been like the greatest impact, I think, on the dentist society, if I can put it that way.
So it's more of like the patients being afraid to come in.
Exactly. It's more on the business perspective. How do you get to see patients if no one's coming to the practice? How are you going to do patient continuity for treatment if no one wants to come for their treatment? They need it, but they won't come for it because they're all afraid.
Yo, let me tell you, come for your treatments. I had a root canal because I didn't come for a treatment. Anyways, that
She sees
aside,
the dentist every decade.
once
so
a decade.
That explains it.
And then, so what are the different streams you can get into when you're a dentist, like orthodontist?
So there's a lot of specialist fields that you can get into. Orthodontist is one of them.
What's that? Please explain.
Braces.
Okay.
Simple terms, braces.
Okay.
That's orthodontics.
Yeah.
The second one is endodontics, which is root canal. You get dentists that specialize in just root canal treatment. Yes.
Okay.
And then you get the cosmetic dentists, those guys who are very keen and interested in full mouth rehabs or makeovers and the veneers and all the nice things. And then you also get the maxillofacial surgeons, who are the guys who do facial reconstruction. So
I'm like, what? I mean, that sounds like a plastic surgeon.
So they are very
ironically,
so they are very much involved in reconstruction of trauma patients. So
is that like
MVAs, like motor vehicle accidents. And you have trauma to your face.
And then-
They are the guys who go in there and kind of reconstruct your face to its somewhat normal form.
Okay.
They are also the ones who will do wisdom removals, like impacted wisdom teeth and stuff. So there's a lot of there's a lot of different.
I thought like you just go to the dentist and there's just like the braces, like there's the braces dude, and then there's just like a dentist who does everything.
So it is becoming like that though. Like now, So specializing is one thing, and then you have like dentists who are still very confident in performing other treatments. Outside of just doing the routine cleaning and fillings and the root canals or whatever. So we're getting there.
Man. And then what are the people that I think maybe you might have mentioned it? I can't say the word anymore. The construction people,
maxillofacial surgeons.
Maxillofacial surgeons. Do they deal with like kids that are born or like people that are born with?
Yes, with defects like cleft palates and those. Yes,
oh,
they do.
Okay.
Yes. But it's a whole team of doctors that would work together. So it won't just be the max-fac surgeons. You'd also have like the prosthodontists who will do the prostheses for the patients. You also have pediatric dentists that are involved because the growth and the timing of the patients during the reconstruction is also quite important. So there's a lot of which is nice because we all work together to get
and then that's so cool actually
a result that we want.
And how are the working hours like a typical day in your life?
This is why you become a dentist and not a real doctor, darling. I'll tell you why. The working hours.
Is it?
Yes, of course, it's flexible. You don't have, call hours, post call, all of these things that, normal doctors have to go through.
Is it?
Yes. As opposed to having a normal 8 to 5 job, you can think of it like that. That's what dentists can do. We're flexible. We can adjust our times and when we see
and you guys like
patients
dermatologists and dentists always have lunch.
Yes.
Which is why we're here now.
But we are generally very hardworking. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell. And then, how is the money like? Starting off to...
It's a myth. They say dentists are very rich. It's a myth.
I don't think so. Because you guys are pretty expensive.
So the expensive doesn't come... Okay, specialists would charge specialist rates, and look, they're allowed to. They have spent this many years specializing in their field, and this is why they've become specialists. This is their time, this is what they've educated themselves on. They've spent the money behind getting that knowledge.
Nikita, don't justify the money, it's too much. It's way too much. But arrange. Starting off as I've done my ComServe now, at least what am I looking at buying? Range Rover.
I'm gonna go with the pink Uno.
No, wait. Okay, no, but like on the real though, how is the money like in dentistry?
Okay, so it's not bad.
Okay.
It honestly does depend on whether you are locuming or you have a private practice.
Okay.
Okay. Locuming structures work off commission. So if you are locum, you are commission per patient.
Okay.
All right. There's a sliding scale that they work off.
Okay.
Either 40-60, so 40 to you, 60 to the owner.
Okay.
Type of thing.
Okay.
That's the locuming structure. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you are in your own private practice,
you charge 60,000 per consultation. No, but like
but you got to be careful. It comes with overheads, so you can't just say that 60,000 is yours. It doesn't work that way. You've got to, take into consideration the running costs, your equipment repayments, your insurance, your staff, all of those things. So yes, it's an expensive game, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's expensive because we thumb suck figures. It's because our resources and our equipment's really expensive. So it's dentistry in general is a very expensive field.
Yeah.
So even when you're studying as a student, dental school fees are far higher than normal medicine fees.
Really?
Yeah. Because of the resources.
Yeah.
The materials are expensive. So the fees are far, far more higher than a normal medical student would pay.
Sure.
Yeah.
On the bright side, at least, unlike a regular GP, you get lunch or no call hours. But thank you so much, Nikita. Just closing off, what advice would you have for people that are trying to be like you, up and coming? Wow. Wow.
I'm joking.
You're so inspirational. Now you're like dropping a bomb here.
It's not a bit about wanting to be like anyone or wanting to be like me. Follow your dreams, follow your passion. If you are passionate about something, you must do it.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I want to be like her, she's a dentist, I want to be like a dentist.
Okay, let me rephrase. For budding dentists that want to be dentists or get into dentistry, what would you say to them?
It's a lovely field, it's a lovely profession, provided you are passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it, you won't wake up every day happy to come to work, to see your patients.
Yeah.
dentistry is not just about performing your skill. It's about being a people's person.
Yeah.
If you're not a people's person, you're
Oh
not
my
going to
gosh, that is so
enjoy
true.
dentistry.
I realized my problem. It's my dentist. I'm joking. And
Well,
just
she
like,
just found a new one.
I think so. I really do. Like, our producer comes here to you, and I'm like, I think I found my calling. Ish. And then, like, what's like the general hygiene people should take? How do people take care of their teeth, like, generally? Like, I know you brush twice a day.
Yes, that's a
Thank
great
you.
start.
I know. That's how I go to a dentist once a day. No, I'm joking.
You have to brush twice a day.
Okay.
Once morning, once evening before bed. And flossing once a day is highly recommended. Okay, highly recommended.
Why are you attacking me?
So that's just the basic oral hygiene. And of course, if you want to, it is really recommended mouth washing after brushing.
Okay, why?
Yeah, because it has an antibacterial property in the
Oh,
mouthwash.
okay.
And that allows, if you brushing your teeth and you're skipping certain areas, and if you don't floss, at least the mouthwash is liquid and it can penetrate between the teeth. It also helps keep the cheeks, the gums, the tongue, all of
Okay.
that nice and clean.
I've been looking at your teeth the whole time. Like, you've got gorgeous pearls.
Thank you.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
Remember to like, subscribe, and let's get your pearly whites clean, guys. Don't be like me. I'm joking. I'm actually very diligent. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And
Bye.
thank you so much again.
You're so welcome.